Dear students, welcome to 23rd lecture of Mobile and Pervasive Computing, CS 710. हम बात कर रहे थे कि how mobile operating systems are formed, उनकी क्या composition होती है, उनमें क्या components जाते हैं, और इस सिलसिले में हमने we discussed number of mobile operating system और आजकल हम Windows Mobile या Mobile Phone 7 को डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. जब भी हम मोबाइल ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम्स की बात करते हैं तो वी शुड कीप इन माइंड दैट दीज आर द ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम्स दैट आर रनिंग ऑन स्मॉल डिवाइसेस. दीज स्मॉल डिवाइसेस हैव वेरिंग कैपेसिटीज. सम आर वेरी हाई एंड स्मॉल डिवाइसेस जिसके अंदर यू विल फाइंड नंबर ऑफ हार्डवेयर, नंबर ऑफ कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री हार्डवेयर दैट गोज इनसाइड दैट. और कुछ बिल्कुल बेसिक स्मार्टफोन्स होते हैं which doesn't offer you very sophisticated hardware, but they are smartphone nonetheless. And they have to, your mobile operating system have to run on all of those. इसको अगर desktop की analogy में देखें तो desktop में there are some very high-end machines जिनको आप कहते हैं कि जी ये high-end processing कर सकती हैं, gaming कर सकती हैं, या they can be used for high-end graphics, और उसमें आप you will find normally a very high-end processor, एक बहुत ज़बरदस्त किस्म का graphic processing card with lot of main memory and graphic memory. hard disk भी शायद उसकी goes in terabytes. लेकिन the same operating system will run on them as compared to कि एक ऐसा desktop environment है जो कि बिल्कुल basic है. And same operating system will run on your laptops. And same operating system will also run on your netbooks, which is very low-end kind of laptops. तो यही आइडिया, यही थीम मोबाइल इन्वायरमेंट में भी ट्रू है कि जब आप एक मोबाइल ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम डिज़ाइन करते हैं तो यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड ऑल काइंड ऑफ डिवाइसेस दैट योर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम विल रन इनटू. Sometimes you restrict few things, you add few things, you remove few things. You will have to keep in mind that you are limited on the power and all those things. तो Windows को भी जब डिज़ाइन किया गया तो Windows को भी, या Windows मोबाइल की जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, तो Windows मोबाइल को जब डिज़ाइन किया गया या Windows Phone 7 को भी जब हम लेके चले तो यही फैक्टर्स थे which played a very dominant role in the designing of this operating system too. अब Windows मोबाइल या Windows Phone 7 जो कि लेटेस्ट वर्जन है, इसको जब हम डिस्कस करते हैं तो वी शुड कीप इन माइंड दैट इट हैज़ लेगेसी ऑफ ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. दैट कंपनी बिहाइंड दिस ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम हैज़ लेगेसी ऑफ ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. दिस लेगेसी हैज़ स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम MS-DOS and then goes inside Windows, starting from Windows 3.1, 3.2, so on. And then the new wave of Windows came, Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows ME, Windows server grade machines की अगर तरफ चले जाएं तो Windows 2000, और फिर recently Windows 7. तो it has a legacy of operating system in desktop domain. तो जब आप Windows मोबाइल को यूज़ करते हैं तो Windows या Windows Phone 7 को यूज़ करते हैं तो you will see a very familiarity between these counterparts. अगर आप उसके counterpart, अगर आप Windows 7 को देखेंगे और Windows Phone 7 को देखेंगे तो दोनों के ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम आपको कुछ मिलते जुलते लगेंगे. और ये पर्पसली है just to make sure that people understand that these are coming from the same company. लेकिन इस लेगेसी के अलावा Microsoft की एक और लेगेसी भी है. The company behind these operating system is also known for keeping things closed. इसलिए you wouldn't find too many material on Windows Phone 7. खैर ये इसलिए भी true हो सकता है because Windows Phone 7 is in its stage of evolution. It has just been launched. Windows 6.5 से there was a major jump to Windows Phone 7. It has just been launched और अभी वो अपने आप को mature कर रहा है, अपने आप को establish कर रहा है. इसलिए जब हम Windows Phone 7 की डिटेल्स को पढ़ते हैं तो we will have to refer constantly to the desktop environment, that okay, this is the component and how it is being used in the desktop environment, and then we also refer to its core that is based on Windows CE, which is another operating system from Microsoft and which is the basics of Windows Mobile and Windows Phone 7 alike. तो हम जब इस मोबाइल फ़ोन के ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम को डीमिस्टिफाई करते हैं, हम इसको अंडरस्टैंड करने की कोशिश करते हैं, तो वी रेफर टू ऑल दिस लेगेसी ऑफ ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम्स, especially Windows CE, and we see that how this components or the things we are trying to find out, how these are used in Windows CE, और या ओवरऑल विंडोज एनवायरनमेंट में वो चीज़ किस तरीके से यूज़ होती है, और वहाँ से हम अपना नॉलेज एक्सट्रैक्ट करते हैं कि ये विंडोज़ फ़ोन के अंदर इस तरह से यूज़ हो रही होगी. दिस इज़ अ वेरी शार्प कॉन्ट्रास्ट टू द अदर कंपनीज लाइक गूगल. अब गूगल जो है, इट डजेंट हैव अ हिस्ट्री ऑफ ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम्स, उसकी लेगेसी नहीं है. एंड्रॉयड वाज देयर फर्स्ट ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम विच दे एक्वायर्ड फ्रॉम अनदर कंपनी. लेकिन ऑन द अदर हैंड they are known for being open. So they opened everything, they provide ample literature, and again, same point comes into play that Android is in the market for last 3 or 4 years, so now it has matured itself. Now people know the ins and out of the operating system, and there are plenty of material available to understand that operating system. Same goes for Nokia, Symbian. Nokia doesn't have history of operating system. This is an operating system that was acquired from a third company, but it has been in the market for last number of years. Therefore, people now understand how this operating system works because it has matured itself. Windows Phone 7 or Windows Mobile is relatively new, and it's following its legacy of its other operating systems. It has kept in closed curtains. So we have to do our own research and find out how these components which goes inside the making of Windows Phone 7 works. I am using these terminologies interchangeably. That is the Windows Mobile 6.5 and Windows Phone 7. Because if you remember last time we discussed that after Windows Mobile 6.5, the newer version of the mobile operating systems launched by Microsoft was Windows Phone 7. Of course, this was a major reinvention of the Windows mobile or the mobile operating system platforms by Windows, but still some of the basics remains the same. The core is still based on Windows CE, that is Windows Embedded Compact remains still the core of the operating system. And then there are a number of components that you will find that they are common in both the operating system. Of course, Microsoft reinvented this operating system to gain a major share of the market. They learned a lot from the market. They learned a lot from their own operating systems. They learned a lot from other operating systems that were launched by other companies. And then they tried and reinvented the whole operating system and its image so that it gets better market penetration. इसमें वो किस हद तक कामयाब हुए, we will look into that, but before we will continue with our last discussion कि हम देख रहे थे कि how this, what is the composition of this operating system. ये किन components के साथ मिलके बना है. And we see that there is a very clear distinction between, एक बड़ी clearly defined boundary है as with all the Microsoft operating systems. वो ये है कि there is a kernel space and there is a user space. You will find this distinction in almost all the operating systems of Microsoft. That Microsoft divides the operating systems into two parts. One is the kernel space and other is the user space. Kernel space में हमें वही usual components मिलते हैं, such as our device drivers, our file systems, graphic graphical interface, all those goes inside the kernel space. There is not a very hard and fast rule on what goes inside kernel and what doesn't. This is a very lenient kind of, or very soft kind of description that, okay, this is kernel space. But you will see that kernel space components vary from operating system to operating system. Some operating system favors keeping kernel very bulky, so they stuff too many things inside the kernel itself. Other favors in keeping things out of the kernel. So you will find the kernel is very small and very thin, and most of the things are running in the user space itself. So there is no clear defined set of rules that, okay, this thing has to be in kernel and this thing doesn't has to be in kernel. If you have taken operating system, you will see that there are a number of different strategies to design an operating systems, and in those strategies it is decided that how the kernel and what functionalities will go inside the kernel. तो विंडोज़ फ़ोन 7 की जब हम बात करते हैं तो विंडोज़ फ़ोन 7 भी इसी डिस्टिंक्शन को लेके आगे चला कि देयर इज़ अ कर्नल स्पेस एंड देयर इज़ अ यूज़र स्पेस. यूज़र स्पेस में देयर आर 4 मेजर कंपोनेंट्स दैट वर्क्स इनसाइड द यूज़र स्पेस. दिस कंपोनेंट्स आर टेल शेल, C program, service SD, and U devices. So these are the 4 major components that are working inside the user space in Windows Phone 7. ये काम क्या करते हैं? Let's start with Tel Shell. Tel Shell provides the shell of the operating system. अब shell क्या है? How would we define shell in an operating system? Shell is the user interface of the operating system. That is the face of the operating system. That is the component that lets the operating system interact with the user. So this is the purpose of shell in any operating system. In Windows Mobile or Windows Phone 7, this shell is named Tel Shell. In previous version, this shell was named Shell 32. अब user interface is again a very relative term, or especially in mobile. Mobile में आपके पास how the user interface will come is determined by the hardware that is supported by that phone. Given that a hardware or a phone supports X number of devices, its user interface might be different from that phone that supports maybe Y number of devices. So, and in user interface or user interaction, we only mean that, okay, in certain phones you wouldn't find the drivers for a certain hardware. That's all about it. But look and feel would be almost as same. It will be consistent across all the mobile platforms. So ये था Tel Shell. Tel Shell is your interface with the user. Mobile operating system का या operating system का जो interface है to the user is called shell. Then we have Service SD. Service SD is a component that hosts all the dynamic link libraries in the user space. So this is a component that has ability to load, suspend, resume, and these functionalities that are related to services. Those services that are provided by the operating system itself. एक एग्जाम्पल, और इसमें हम ये भी डिस्टिंक्शन करते हैं कि सर्विसेज आर यूजुअली दोज विच डजंट रिक्वायर डायरेक्ट एक्सेस टू एनी हार्डवेयर और द कर्नल स्पेस, बिकॉज वी आर रनिंग इन द यूजर स्पेस. सो वी विल रिस्ट्रिक्ट दोज सर्विसेज टू दोज who doesn't need direct access to kernel or the hardware. इसकी एग्जाम्पल एक is the TCP stack. Now the purpose of TCP stack is to decipher the communication packets that comes in and to extract the information from those packets and hand it to appropriate application to make use of it. So it doesn't need direct access to the hardware because somewhere from the drivers will hand them the packet that, okay, this is your packet, work on it, and all it has to do is decipher it, de-encapsulate it, and extract the information and pass it to the relevant program. फिर हमारे पास जो third component है, that is U devices. Just like device drivers can run in kernel, Windows Phone 7 also supports running of device drivers in user space. The working of user space device drivers is the same as that of the kernel space device driver. वो ये कि आपको ये udevices.exe जो प्रोग्राम है, it will provide you services to activate device driver, deactivate device drivers, और उसका flow भी same ही होगा कि जब भी आप कोई device driver activate करना चाहेंगे तो it will check with the registry values that whether this loading of this device driver is allowed in user space or not. If it is allowed, then it will load it and you will move in from there. And finally, we have in the application space or in the user space, we have the C program.exe. And it is a very important component because whenever I emphasize it all the time when I'm discussing these components, that when discussing this very fancy, very high-end mobile operating systems, we often forget that we are neglecting the basic services of the phone, that is send and receive calls. C program.exe is the component in Windows Phone 7 that handles the incoming and outgoing of the calls. So whenever the call comes, it notifies C program.exe, which handles that calls and take any appropriate actions which may be associated with the incoming calls. And after that, when it has taken care of all the events that are associated with the calls, then it will hand the call to the user. And that's when you hear the phone ringing. So C program exe is the component that handle these kind of all the phone related functions, that is incoming and outgoing of phone calls. So ये चार components makes the immediate lower layer of the application. आपकी applications जो हैं वो इन components के साथ directly interact कर रही होती हैं. C program.exe call आ रही है या जा रही है, application will ask C program.exe to place a call for it. या अगर call आई है कोई तो it will handle the appropriate things and then hand it to application that okay, this is the incoming call. आपने कोई DLL लोड करनी है, आपकी एप्लीकेशन ने किसी DLL के साथ इंटरेक्ट करना है, आपकी एप्लीकेशन ने किसी सर्विस के साथ इंटरेक्ट करना है, TCP स्टैक ने आपको कोई पैकेट से इंफॉर्मेशन एक्सट्रैक्ट करके देनी है, it will extract the information and then hand it to application that okay, this is your information that has come from the packet, और other way around अगर एप्लीकेशन ने कोई चीज़ भेजनी है तो it will go through these using these services. आपने कोई device driver load करना है in user space, you will be talking to U devices, and then finally if your interaction with the user is facilitated by TEL shell, that is the shell of the Windows Phone 7. इस layer के नीचे we find number of other services. We are still in the user space. We are still in we still haven't gone inside the kernel space. We still are talking about the user space. Or below these components, there are a number of other components that provides complementary services to the upper layers. Or put other way around, it acts as intermediaries between the applications and the kernel level और कर्नल स्पेस कंपोनेंट्स. इसमें हमारे पास कौन से कंपोनेंट्स आ गए? इसमें हमारे पास WinINet. WinINet इज विंडोज इंटरनेट सर्विसेज. अब विंडोज इंटरनेट सर्विसेज में क्या चीज़ आ गई? आपकी ऑथेंटिकेशन, योर क्रेडेंशियल्स, योर session management, all this comes inside the Windows Internet Services. This is the component that provide the basic internet functionalities to the applications. So this is the work of the Windows INET service. Then we have common control. किसी भी environment को program करने के लिए ये चीज़ हम शायद पहले भी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. What makes it lucrative? What makes you choose an environment to program? और उसमें दो चीज़ें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बन जाती हैं. एक तो हमने उसका कमर्शियल एस्पेक्ट डिस्कस कर लिया था कि how many people are using it, and then if you decide to program for that device you will be basically targeting so many audience. लेकिन programming side पे talking strictly programming aspect, ease of use, how easier it is to program for that device or that operating system, and familiarity, how easier it is to learn that operating system or that programming environment. आपके पास ease of use आती है from the APIs. The more the number of APIs, the more easier it is to use that operating system or that programming language, because then you don't have to go into the nitty-gritty detail of how would you program for that. And familiarity comes from if it resembles something that you have already worked with. For example, अगर हम थोड़ा सा पीछे जाएं तो Android operate for Java because it gives a familiar face, it puts a familiar face on the top of Android that those people who are familiar with Java can easily program here too. In Windows Mobile, you are using the same frameworks as you use for programming for your desktop environment. And this familiarity, this familiar components are provided through common control. This common control library helps or provides all those components that can be shared among different applications. For example, your progress bar. This is one component that can be easily reused in number of applications. The tree view, when you are looking for files or when you are browsing directories, you will see a familiar tree view, and same is available to you in Windows Phone 7. So this is how Windows Phone has come up with the familiar or put a familiar face on the top of their operating system, that okay, this is the same environment that, and these are the same components that you use for programming the desktop, and same is available to you on the mobile environment too. So you can reuse them and write your own application. Next in this series we have WinSock or Windows Socket API, WSA. Why would we need Windows Socket API? This is a very interesting, it has a very interesting history of why would we need Windows Socket API or WinSock. हुआ ये कि when Microsoft or MS-DOS was formed, it lacked many network capabilities. जिसमें सबसे important ये थी कि it didn't had support for TCP/IP protocols. At that time, probably TCP/IP was not that mature or wasn't that widely used, so they decided to keep it out of their operating system. लेकिन यूं उसकी popularity बढ़ती गई, people started to use. हुआ ये कि third-party companies start writing TCP/IP protocol stacks and provided them to complement MS-DOS. Some came as a part of hardware, some came as in the form of software, लेकिन ये third party companies की तरफ से आ रही. अब हर third party company जो थी उसने अपनी APIs use की to write those programs. अब programmer के लिए difficulty ये थी कि when it goes from one software to another software, the API was totally different. So it was very difficult to convince a programmer to write TCP/IP applications because there were so many variants of TCP/IP protocol stacks, and there were so many different APIs version available in the market that there was no consistency. जब आपके पास consistency नहीं थी market में, so there was no portability. So you have to make very strict assumptions about on which environment your programs will run and which environments your program will not run. For example, अगर आपने अपना प्रोग्राम जो है वो TCP/IP स्टैक को यूज़ करते हुए लिखा है जो कि कंपनी A से प्रोवाइड किया गया है, so it probably wouldn't run when you will try to run this on TCP/IP stack provided by company B. So there was strict compatibility issue. आपकी portability wasn't that good. So then people decide that okay, now TCP/IP protocol stack has gained wide popularity, so it should become part of the mainstream operating systems. And from there came the concept of WinSock or Windows Socket API. These socket APIs provides you the network functionality and lets your application interact with network and provides the protocol functionalities such as TCP/IP. इसमें जो most commonly used API calls and these are connect, bind, open socket, close socket, all these related to how would you communicate with another computer sitting somewhere else. Normally जब हम program कर रहे होते हैं तो we open a socket onto our own computer and just to test our program that whether it's working fine rather than requiring कि हमारे पास दो कंप्यूटर हों तभी हम WinSock को टेस्ट कर सकते हैं. It also has facility कि आप अपने ही कंप्यूटर में एक और सॉकेट खोलें and make a connection between them and see if your program is working fine. लेकिन open socket, close socket, connect, bind, these are the common functionalities that are provided by WinSock. Then the other component that we used or that is present in Windows Phone 7 is Core DLL. Core DLL क्या करता है? Core DLL हमें वो core functionalities provide करता है which are necessary for the operating system to run. All the applications, all the other programs use functionalities that are provided by Core DLL. इसमें आपके पास you have functionalities related to file management, you have functionalities related to process management, you have functionalities related to thread management. Mutex को handle करने के लिए आपके पास functionality है. You have things like get file, open file, close file, suspend thread, create mutex, get end of the file, and number of other functionalities. There are so many of them to even list. So these are the core functionalities or core functions, if you think of in programming terms, that these are the core functions that are provided by Core DLL, and these are the functions that are necessary for all the applications to execute because they are using the functionalities provided by Core DLL. इसको अगर हम relate करें to any other operating system that you can think of and see if we have equivalent of Core DLL. क्या हमें किसी operating system में या वो ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम जो हमने डिस्कस किए थे, कैन वी फाइंड एन इक्विवेलेंट ऑफ कोर डीएलएल, एक ऐसी लाइब्रेरी जो कि हमें कोर फंक्शनैलिटीज प्रोवाइड करती हो और जिसकी एग्जिस्टेंस इज नेसेसरी फॉर एप्लीकेशंस टू एग्जीक्यूट. कैन वी थिंक ऑफ anyone in Android? Can we think of anyone in Symbian domain? Single library that is necessary for the executions of our program or for the proper functioning of the operating system. glibc from Linux Unix environment or libc from Android environment. If you remember, this is the same thing that these libraries does for the Linux environment or Unix environment or Android environment, that they provide the core functionalities for the operating system to execute. These are the functionalities that are used by applications. These are the functionalities that are used by the operating system itself for running the programs for proper execution. So Core DLL is again a component. सिर्फ टर्मिनोलॉजी थोड़ी सी डिफरेंट होगी. यहाँ पर हम इसे Core DLL कहते हैं. In Linux environment, we call it glibc, but both are providing kind of same functionalities. अब core DLL की जो मैंने आपको functionalities बताई हैं, I have restricted myself to only outline some of those functionalities that are available in the user space, because we are still in the user space and we are discussing user space. But Core DLL, there is a counterpart of Core DLL that is kernel Core DLL. And those functionalities are those that are essential for the kernel to execute. Those are the functionalities that run inside the kernel space. So these, again, we have outlined 4 components that makes the lower layer just above the kernel space and at the bottom of the user space that lets applications interact with the kernel space functionalities. इसमें हमारे पास WinINet है, इसमें हमारे पास CoreDLL है, इसमें हमारे पास WinSock है, इसमें हमारे पास Common Control है. So these four are the components. इसके अलावा और भी हैं, but we have just restricted ourselves to discuss those that are more prominent, that are more common. इसमें एक और चीज़ जो आप जहन में रखेंगे while studying this material and while searching for these things on internet is that first of all you will definitely go and open your computer and open Google and see what this component stands for. You will look into the different sites, you will refer to Microsoft's own libraries, you will refer to third parties information available that okay, what are the functionalities that are available in WinSock? What are the functionalities that are available through Common Control? What does WinINet does? But another thing that you will keep in mind is that we are talking about a closed operating system. So these components, not necessarily all of them will map as same as we are discussing for two reasons. First, Windows Mobile 7 is an evolving platform and it's a unique opportunity. I see it as a very unique opportunity because we will get to study an operating system from where it started from and how it has evolved over the number of years. We will see what mistakes were made. We will see how APIs have transformed. We will see what functionalities were missing and how they were later added. We will see how it helped the operating system to gain sufficient market share. लेकिन इसका जो pitfall है वो ये होगा कि by the time you will be seeing these lectures, some of the functionality might not be the same as we discussed here. कुछ functionality जो है वो enhance हो गई हो शायद, कुछ functionality शायद थोड़ी सी reduce हो गई हो, and some other components might have come into the play which we haven't discussed here yet. So I will encourage that while looking at these lectures and while looking at the class notes that are provided along these lectures, you should go ahead and look for these components, look for these functionalities yourself. एक दूसरी dimension जो इसकी थी वो ये है कि being a closed environment, we don't have much detail on the operating system architecture itself. We don't have a very clear picture diagram of how the operating system components interact, what are the components first of all inside this operating system. Whatever I am describing here and whatever you are seeing here is from internet itself. This is from different sites. This is from different reference material from different books. This is from reference material come from Windows CE itself. So I am describing this information after collecting it from different sources, and none of them says that none of them has this stamp on it that this is an official Microsoft stance on Windows 7 architecture. This is all reverse engineering. This is all what people think that this must be this way because this component is behaving like this, or this must be like this because it's based on Windows CE core, and in Windows CE these components behave like this. So there is a room of improvement. I am saying is that there is a room of improvement for both of us, that we will continue to see how this operating system evolves, and we will continue to see that how various components take their shape and exist in the form they are today. यूजर स्पेस से जब हम कर्नल स्पेस के अंदर जाते हैं तो वी विल सी अ नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स, और दीज आर थिंग्स जो कि हम डिफरेंट कॉन्टेक्स्ट में काफ़ी दफ़ा डिफरेंट जगहों पे डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. वी हैव डिस्कस के जी कर्नल स्पेस में हमारे पास डिवाइस मैनेजर होते हैं. डिवाइस मैनेजर का काम क्या होता है? डिवाइस मैनेजर का काम ये होता है कि वो आपकी डिवाइसेस के साथ इंटरेक्ट करता है. आपके पास हार्डवेयर एब्स्ट्रैक्शन होती है कर्नल स्पेस के अंदर। अगर आपको याद हो तो जब हम एंड्रॉयड की बात कर रहे थे तो हम कह रहे थे कि सिक्योरिटी भी इसी कर्नल का पार्ट होती है। एंड देन द फाइल मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम विल आल्सो गो इनसाइड द कर्नल। तो विंडोज फोन 7 में व्हाट आर द कंपोनेंट्स दैट मेक्स द कर्नल स्पेस ऑफ विंडोज फोन 7? सबसे पहले तो हमारे पास उसमें जो कंपोनेंट है दैट इज कॉल्ड OAL और OEM adaptation layer। OEM adaptation layer क्या चीज़ है? These operating systems, जैसे कि हमने लेक्चर के शुरू में डिस्कस किया, these are made to run on various different mobile phone platforms। यही मोबाइल फ़ोन जो है और यही मोबाइल फ़ोन ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम जो है वो HTC पे भी चलेगा, यही ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम जो है वो डेल पे भी चलेगा, यही मोबाइल फ़ोन ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम सोनी एरिक्सन पे भी चलेगा। और ये तो कंपनीज हैं उनके, देन देयर आर नंबर ऑफ अदर मॉडल्स दैट दे विल रन दिस और दे विल शिप देयर मॉडल्स विद दिस ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम रनिंग ऑन देम। तो हाउ वुड दीज मैन्युफैक्चरर्स will be able to adopt this operating system for their hardware? The answer is OAL or OEM adaptation layer. OEM adaptation layer facilitates the third-party vendors or the phone manufacturers to adopt the operating system according to their needs. OEM, along with a set of device drivers, make the board support package or BSP. That is, these two components, drivers plus OAL, will help the phone manufacturers port the operating system onto their mobile phones and the different models of them. OAL is somewhat analogous to HAL or hardware abstraction layer. Hardware abstraction layer का काम क्या होता है? अगर हम एंड्रॉयड को रेफर करें तो हार्डवेयर एब्स्ट्रैक्शन लेयर का काम ये था कि अंडरलेइंग हार्डवेयर की कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज को हाइड करके एक कंसिस्टेंट इंटरफेस दे टू ऑल द सर्विसेज। सो whoever wants to use this hardware should go through hardware abstraction layer and use a predefined set of services or predefined set of APIs. हमने different scenarios भी देखे थे in which the application interacts with HAL through the dynamically linked libraries, through sockets, through bindings. We saw how applications were able to interact with ultimately the devices itself. So OAL plays the same role in the Windows Phone 7 as hardware abstraction layer. अब फ्लो ऑफ एग्जीक्यूशन क्या होता है कि जब भी फोन बूट अप होता है तो वो OAL को लोड करता है। OAL in turn loads kernel.dll, that is the core of your operating system, and then kernel.dll loads the device manager. अब device manager भी दो हिस्सों में तकसीम है। One is the kernel, the device driver shell, and the other is the device driver manager. The shell is the one that lets you interact with the device drivers itself, और जो actual functionality है that is written inside the device driver manager itself, जो कि आपको help करता है to interact with the actual device drivers. तो OAL जब execute हुआ, OAL जब फोन जब boot up हुआ तो OAL load हुआ, OAL ने kernel.dll को load किया, kernel.dll then load the device drivers itself. तो ये OAL का काम है कि it will load the kernel for you, and then it will also help port the operating system to the other mobile phones that are manufacturers by different hardware or phone manufacturers, and that has different model numbers or different hardware capabilities. So OAL with complemented with number of device drivers helps you achieve this functionality. अब यहाँ पर हम एक चीज़ देखते हैं, अभी थोड़ी देर पहले मैंने बात की थी evolution की, that this operating system is constantly changing because it has just been launched, and from the market experience and from द डिज़ाइन डिसीजंस एंड व्हाट आर द कोई अगर प्रॉब्लम्स आए तो उनसे जो चेंजेस आई दैट मेक दिस ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम evolve over a period of time. इसमें एक चीज़ जो I would like to mention here is the combination of OAL and kernel.dll. In Windows CE5, OAL and kernel.dll were one component. They were clubbed together and put inside one boundary. अब उससे फ़र्क क्या पड़ा? OAL वो कंपोनेंट है जिसके साथ तमाम फ़ोन मैन्युफैक्चरर्स इंटरेक्ट करते हैं, because when they are trying to port their the operating system onto their device, they will interact with OAL. While interacting with OAL, they find out that okay, kernel.dll is there too, and they find out ways, the undocumented ways to interact with the kernel. This was not supposed to happen because those undocumented APIs were for special purposes. Let's say, for example, to check the sanity of the kernel itself. So the programmer has written some test and just to see if the kernel is okay, in which it allocates and deallocates memory for the variables described inside. It sees that whether the variables are properly initialized or not. तो ये undocumented functions थे, undocumented APIs थी जो कि कर्नल के अंदर एग्जिस्ट करती थी, and when the phone manufacturers start interacting with OAL, they find out that okay, kernel.dll is also part of that component, and they can interact with the kernel and they can call undocumented APIs. अब those APIs were not supposed to be called, और उसका रिजल्ट ये हुआ कि there were possibilities of security loopholes because the manufacturers were doing something they were not supposed to do. और जब आप इस तरह की functionalities यूज़ करते हैं जो कि इतनी mature नहीं होती, तो there is definitely a chance that you will end up using those functionalities in a wrong manner, या वो आपके overall application architecture में कोई loophole छोड़ देगी. So learning from this experience, in Windows Phone 7, when they moved to CE6, अब CE6 का जो core था उसमें these both components were changed or separated. OAL is now a different component and kernel.dll is a different component. OAL still calls the kernel DLL but as a different component, not something that is residing within its own boundary. उसका एक फ़ायदा ये हुआ कि now if you want to change kernel.dll, कोई ऐसा bug आ गया, कोई ऐसा problem आ गया kernel में that kernel.dll has to be modified, so you don't have to change the whole component that also includes the OAL, but you will just push in the patch for the kernel.dll and you are set to go. So ये एक evolutionary step जिसको कह लें कि how we came from going from Windows CE 5 to Windows CE 6, we have changed one component that included kernel.dll and OAL to two components which each hosted OAL and kernel separately. इसके अलावा in kernel space you have filesystem.dll or filesys.dll. Filesys का काम क्या है? Filesys will handle your file system. How many file system are you aware of? There are a number of file systems that are used in Linux. We use number of them in Windows environment too. Most common of them is FAT or FAT32. These file systems are handled by the filesys.dll. Another component that goes inside the kernel space is device driver.dll. अब device driver का काम क्या होता है? Device driver gives you the basic functionality of handling the stream devices. आपके मोबाइल फ़ोन के साथ जो devices connected हैं या मोबाइल फ़ोन के चेसिस में जो devices available हैं, उनके साथ आपने किस तरीके से interact करना है. This is defined by the device driver.dll. हमने थोड़ी देर पहले डिस्कस किया था कि OAL जब फ़ोन बूट होने के बाद OAL लोड्स द kernel.dll और कर्नल उसके बाद डिवाइस ड्राइवर्स को लोड करता है जिनमें डिवाइस ड्राइवर का मैनेजर भी होता है और डिवाइस ड्राइवर इटसेल्फ का कोड भी होता है. So this is the library, or this is the component that is responsible for interaction with the device driver, with the devices itself. ये functionalities क्या provide करता है? It provides functionality to initialize the device. It will provide the functionality to deinitialize the device. Stream open करने का, stream close करने का, stream से कुछ read करने के लिए जो आपको functionalities चाहिए होती हैं, stream में कुछ write करने के लिए आपको जो APIs चाहिए होती हैं, all these functions or all these programming APIs are provided by the device driver.dll. Then comes the component that lets you interact with the operating system itself. एक तो हो गया आपकी interaction through the shell. दूसरी आपकी interaction होती है through the user interface. In Windows Phone 7, the three components, एक आपकी application programming, that is application programming interface, API, आपका user interface, और आपके graphical जो elements थे उनको सबको मिला के एक कंपोनेंट बना दिया गया और उसको कहा गया GWES, Graphics, Windows and Events Subsystem. This is the component that will provide all the user interface elements. आपके menus, आपके bars, आपकी icons, all these things are handled by this component in Windows Phone 7. It is called GWES. So these are the few components that are, and the prominent one I should say, that goes inside the kernel space. This includes your file system, this includes your device driver system, this includes the OAL and the kernel.dll, and this includes the GWES or Graphics, Windows and Event Subsystem. Okay, आपको ये सब combined together will make the kernel space, and these are the functionalities that are available inside the kernel space for a programmer. तो ये तो हो गई थी फर्दर हमने एक एक कंपोनेंट को डिस्कस किया, दैट दीज आर द कंपोनेंट्स एंड दिस इज द फंक्शनैलिटीज दैट दिस components inside kernel space or user space. These are the components and this is the functionality they will provide in their respective spaces, be it user space or be it kernel space. Kernel space combined together, how does it look? Or kernel space या program execution environment, how does it look? जैसे कि मैंने पहले भी कहा कि Windows Phone 7 is based on the Windows Phone और Windows CE6 core. अब यहाँ पे थोड़ी सी confusion है. Sometime you find that people would say that it is based on Windows CE7 core. Some would say that Windows Phone 7 is based on Windows CE6 core. So what is true? In reality, both are true. वो किस तरीके से? वो इस तरह से कि जब Windows Phone 7 was in the form of designing and जब वो बन रहा था तो उस वक्त the only mature core that was available was Windows CE6. So there were functionalities that were available and mature in Windows CE6 और इसलिए उसको बेस बनाकर आगे लेके चला गया. लेकिन at the same time there was work in progress on Windows CE7. So therefore, this also had its contribution in when you design the Windows Phone 7 operating system. इसलिए अगर आप उनकी statement पढ़ें तो statement would be a bit ambiguous. It would say कि जी Windows Phone 7 is based on Windows CE6 core with some improvement and enhancement from the Windows Phone 7 team. These improvement and enhancements are what they borrowed from Windows CE7 platform, and this was mutual. If you invented something good in Windows Mobile Phone 7, when enhancing the core, it probably went and become part of Windows CE7 core. और अगर Windows CE7 core को design करते हुए there were some good things, so that were also incorporated inside Windows Phone 7. या Windows CE6 को जो थोड़ा सा enhance किया गया. So this is a bit of ambiguity there. लेकिन this core इसको अगर हम ऊपर से बर्ड्स आई व्यू देखें इसका थोड़ा सा and see what it is capable of. So theoretically this core Windows CE 6 and with some enhancement or altogether अगर हम jump कर जाएं Windows CE 7 पर, this core is capable of running 32,000 processes simultaneously. This is what they claim. This is not an official number, but this is what I have found that okay, theoretically they claim that these many processes can run and each process can have 1 GB memory for its use. Processes जो overall execution है they can have up till 2 GB और virtual जो आपके पास space है in kernel that is also 2 GB. So making it total of 4 GB of space available for the operating system. 4 GB space is an ideal for 32-bit operating system because 2 raised to power 32 will give you roughly the 4 GB of the memory space. So this operating system is capable of referring up till 4 GB of memory, and this is exactly what is the amount of memory that is available in the phone. The operating system will not run on on the platforms that are capable of 64-bit operating. This is not a 64-bit operating system, but it only supports 32-bit platforms and it is a 32-bit operating system. फिर इसमें what kind of, हमने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले बात की file systems की. So what kind of file systems are available? हम FAT से, we are familiar with FAT, we are familiar with FAT32. So is this the file system that is present in this mobile phone same or they are different? Windows Phone 7 comes with 2 kind of file systems. One is called IMGFS and other is called TEXFAT. IMG or Image FS is a file system that is supposed for maintaining system files, and this file system is borrowed from the desktop environment and they have a very good interoperability. Then we have TEXFAT, that is extended FAT, और ये extended FAT जो file system है, that is for the user maintained file, and this can manage files that is up till 4 GB or even larger. TEXFAT का एक और फायदा ये है that it gives the Microsoft support for unified storage environment. Unified storage environment में you can save files without the user knowing whether it is the phone's internal storage or the flash storage. So these are the 2 file systems that are available inside Windows Phone 7. हम आज का लेक्चर यहाँ पर conclude करते हैं. Today we discussed the different components that goes inside the user space and the kernel space of Windows Phone 7. We discussed the kernel space, how many processes we can run there, what is the memory available there, and what is the file system that is being used in Windows Phone 7. हम इस थ्रेड को यहीं से आगे लेके चलेंगे and we will see कि अभी तक तो हम जो चीज़ें डिस्कस कर रहे हैं that were related to the initial version. वो वर्जन जो अक्टूबर 2010 में रिलीज हुआ और जिसके कुछ नॉमिनल पैचेस बाद में रिलीज होते रहे. बट व्हाट डज माइक्रोसॉफ्ट हैज इन स्टोर फॉर अस एज अ नेक्स्ट मेजर रिलीज? व्हाट वर द फ्लॉज दैट वर प्रेजेंट इन दिस ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम एंड हाउ डज माइक्रोसॉफ्ट टैकल देम? दिस विल बी आवर टॉपिक ऑफ डिस्कशन फॉर द नेक्स्ट लेक्चर. Until then, I am your instructor Abdul Aziz signing off. Allah Hafiz.